There are people out there that don't even have $5 to invest. You might be one of them. I used to be that person. There's always an excuse not to invest. I don't have enough money. That's something I'll do later in life, right? I totally get it. I remember being 20 years old, 18 years old, 22 years old. I remember thinking, well, really not thinking. I remember not even thinking about it as something that was remotely in my priorities of anything to do ever. That was not a thing that I even thought about. And you might be in that same boat where it's not even on your radar. It's not even something you're considering to be a possibility for something that you should be doing, because you don't know what you don't know. Now, hopefully you see this video. Hopefully maybe it finds you at the right time, right when you need it the most. But I'm telling you, you need to invest. You need to invest. You need to learn how it works. You need to fight against inflation, right? You need to really just go down the deep rabbit hole of what it means to invest your money. Could be in stocks, could be in real estate, could be in crypto, could be in really anything. But you have to start learning. You have to start getting your feet wet, and you can't be afraid to lose some money learning. Just chalk it off to the cost of doing business, because it's inevitable that, learning anything, you're going to lose money at some point, but you can't be afraid to do that, so much so that you don't even actually do it. So you have to understand why invest, right? Why start investing? Because if you don't even know why, you're never going to do it. And I'm telling you, even if you start with just $5 a month, $5 a month, every single person has $5 a month, right, to invest, right? Now it sounds silly, sounds like, why would I even invest $5? That's so little. Well, 5 is better than 0. So it's so easy to do it, and it's so little, but it's also easy not to do it, right? So what's more important than the amount is the philosophy of doing it and the act of actually doing it. So, because if you don't know how to manage $5 or $10, how can you ever manage 100? How can you ever manage 1,000? How can you ever buy a house one day, right? It's like, it's like if you think like, I don't know, it's like if you ever want to buy a house one day or live like a normal life, it's like, it's basically impossible, right? But we have to start somewhere, right? If we don't have enough money to invest $5, how can you buy a house? So you have to just start getting your feet wet, learning how to invest, okay? I'll save another video for that kind of topic on how to, I don't know, maybe my thoughts on actually investing. But this message is basically just to tell you that, if you're not investing, if it's not on your priority list, things to do, I'll do it later, you gotta do it now, because it's honestly changed my life. And I see so much of where it's gonna take me in life, right? It's not just where you've been or where you are now, but it's where you're going, right? So you have to be able to see, if I continue these steps, continue these actions, where will it take me in the future, right? So it's just such a good thing. It's literally already changed my life. And I'm nowhere near where I want to be, but I'm very happy with my progress and what I've accomplished so far through investing. It's just, just today, basically my car, I've talked about this a little before, but I mentioned my car, it has 296,000 miles on it, right? It's a lot of miles. And I want to drive it as long as possible. Today, the catalytic converter, one of them actually went out, right? So literally, like, something that could have, basically, broken me spiritually, right? Could have broke me, could have, been a really, like, a catastrophe, right? Didn't end up being a catastrophe because I prepared for it way in advance, right? By investing, by saving. Literally yesterday I did a trade, like one of my trades. I got paid like basically $500. It was kind of crazy how basically I made $500 doing a trade. And then literally the next day I basically had like a $500 part that I had to buy, plus about $300-$400 for labor. And then, that about $800-$900 total. But basically a trade of mine, just one trade that I did, paid for like half of something that's like a lot of money. So I didn't feel it as much, right? Like, I'm not like a super rich guy or something, but like, just doing something like that, making some money that's detached from your time, can make like literally like a horrible event, like having like like getting your car fixed. You need your car to be in working order. Like, it turned that situation into something not so bad, right? That only happened because I've been investing for like 10 years. And like, that's kind of what happens if you like invest for 10 years. You're gonna at some point have money. Like, I'm not rich, but like, I've been investing for 10 years. Like, you're gonna have money, like, hopefully, if you just like set it aside, right? So yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know. I feel like so many people have this idea of investing, and they have such negative emotions when it comes to the word. Like, they just hear the word, and like all of like their negative thoughts like immediately surface, right? You tell them to invest, and then it's like, I don't know, the brain just like goes, I can't, I don't have it, I can't do it. Like, I don't know what it is, but like literally people spend their money on things they don't even need or even want, right? To impress people that they don't even like. You've heard that saying, right? It's like, people need to fix their mindset when it comes to the topic. And honestly, just, there's probably I don't know, there's something in the water. I don't know, but there's something in the water. I don't know, they're just some propaganda, I don't know, but they've somehow infiltrated everyone's minds. Like it's just not possible to make money, invest, and sorry, there's like some guy next to me that just made this like weird face. Still getting used to just like talking off the top of the dome, walking in public, and people are walking by, and yeah. So anyway, that was my little spiel. I'll make some future videos on the topic of investing, maybe a little more how to do it, or how I would do it, my thoughts on the topic. But don't use just me as a resource. Use literally so many videos on YouTube as resource. There's so much to learn on YouTube, it's insane. If you literally, nowadays, you're not really like rewarded for knowing everything. You're kind of like rewarded just for having the courage to try, right? It's like, if you're just willing to try, willing to put yourself out there, willing to risk a little bit of money to either make money or learn something, it's like, dude, you can't teach that. You just got to do it. You just got to have a little courage, right? Do the brave choice and put your money to work, right? And if you don't know how, learn how. And if you don't know the way, find a way and try to be resourceful. You can't just work a job and save money and expect to live a good life nowadays. So anyway, that's pretty much it. We'll see you in the next one. Oh.